Every small town has its quirks, strange traditions passed down through generations that make outsiders raise an eyebrow. For Millbrook, it was the Harvest Festival masks, carved from ancient oak, handed down through families, worn without question. The rule was absolute. Everyone wears a mask from sundown to sunrise during the harvest moon. To confuse the spirits, the elders would say, with knowing smiles. I thought it was charming, quaint folklore from a simpler time. I was wrong. And tonight, I learned why some traditions aren't suggestions. They're survival instructions, written in the blood of those who didn't listen. It started as a joke, really. My friends dared me to skip the mask, to walk through the festival as the only bare face in a sea of carved wood. What's the worst that could happen? I laughed, downing another beer. The spirit's gonna get me? The festival was beautiful in a rustic way. Bonfires casting dancing shadows. The smell of roasted corn and cider. Hundreds of people moving through the town square, every single one wearing those wooden masks. Grinning faces, weeping faces, blank faces, grotesque faces. Some were generations old, dark with age and handling. I walked through the crowd feeling oddly exposed but defiant. People glanced at me. At least, I think they did. It's hard to tell when you can't see eyes, only carved eye holes that reveal nothing but darkness. The festival wound down as midnight approached. The crowd thinned, but not much. Most people stayed, as tradition demanded, until sunrise. I decided to do one final lap through the square before heading home, still maskless, still proud of my little rebellion. That's when it happened. At exactly midnight, every masked figure in the square stopped moving. Conversations died mid-sentence. Music from the folk band ceased. Even the children froze in place. Then, slowly, deliberately, every single mask turned toward me. Not their bodies, just the masks, as if the wooden faces could swivel independently of the heads beneath them. Hundreds of carved faces, all locked onto me with their empty eye sockets. The temperature dropped, not gradually, instantly. My breath became visible, condensing in air that had been warm seconds before. The quality of the atmosphere changed, becoming heavier, older, like the air in a sealed tomb finally opened. That's when I heard the breathing, behind every mask, slow and deep. Impossibly slow. Each inhale lasting 5 seconds, each exhale another 5. The breathing wasn't synchronized, it overlapped, creating a rhythm that felt wrong, that made my heart race and my skin crawl. This wasn't human breathing. It couldn't be. I tried to laugh, to break the tension. Okay, very funny, guys. You got me. No response. Just that terrible, ancient breathing. Then they moved, not toward me, but away, creating a corridor through their midst. A path leading from where I stood to the far end of the square, where the old harvest altar stood. I didn't want to look down that corridor. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but I couldn't help it. At the end of the path stood a figure. It wore no mask. My relief lasted exactly 1 second, until I realized why it wore no mask. Where its face should have been was smooth, unmarked skin. No eyes, no nose, no mouth, just blank, pale flesh stretched over a skull, like a person who'd never developed features. But it was watching me. I could feel its attention like pressure against my skin. The figure began walking toward me. Its movements were fluid but wrong, too smooth, joints bending at angles that didn't quite match human anatomy. I tried to back away, but the masked crowd had closed behind me, forming a solid wall of wood and cloth. I was trapped in the corridor with that thing approaching. As it got closer, I noticed something that made my blood freeze. Its skin wasn't smooth like I'd first thought. If you looked carefully, you could see the faintest impressions, the ghost of features that had once been there. Dozens of them, layered over each other, faces pressed into its flesh like fossils in stone. Faces it had taken. That's when I understood. The masks weren't to confuse spirits, they were camouflage, hide and seek on a cosmic scale, where being found meant something worse than death. This thing, this collector, hunted by faces. It memorized every contour, every feature, every unique arrangement of human features. And once it saw you, truly saw you, it claimed you, added you to its collection. The masks worked because they presented a false face. The collector saw only wood, only carvings. It couldn't lock onto what was beneath because the wooden face blocked its perception. But me? I was naked, exposed, the only real face in a sea of fake ones. I could see my reflection in its smooth, featureless head as it got closer, my terrified eyes, my open mouth, my unique, identifiable face. It raised one hand, fingers too long, joints too many, reaching for me. I did the only thing I could think of. I grabbed the nearest masked person and tore their mask from their face. The person underneath, old Mr. Henshaw from the hardware store, looked at me with horror. Then he shoved his own hands over his face, covering it completely. I didn't think. I just put the mask on. The effect was immediate. The collector stopped mid-reach. Its hand wavered in the air, hovering between me and Mr. Henshaw, who still had his hands clamped over his features. The breathing changed. Faster now, confused, seeking. The collector's head twitched, moving in sharp bird-like jerks, trying to locate its target. But I was hidden now. Behind the mask, I wasn't a face anymore. I was just another wooden carving in a crowd of wood. Mr. Henshaw kept his hands pressed to his face, and someone else, bless them, handed him a spare mask. He put it on with shaking hands. The collector stood motionless for a long moment. Then it turned and walked back down the corridor, back toward the altar. As it moved away, the masked crowd closed the path behind it, and the festival resumed as if nothing had happened. The music started. Conversations picked up. Children laughed. But everyone turned to look at me with their wooden faces, not threatening, but acknowledging. Welcome to the truth. Welcome to those who know. I kept the mask on until sunrise, as tradition demanded. Mr. Henshaw never said a word to me about it, but the next day, he brought me my own mask. Carved from oak, fitted to my face, with a note that simply said, "Every year. No exceptions." I wear it now, every harvest festival, and I watch for the fool who thinks tradition is just superstition, who walks barefaced through the crowd. Because now I know the truth. When a tradition insists on anonymity for one night, it's because something ancient hunts by faces. Being seen isn't just uncomfortable. Being seen is being claimed. And once the collector has seen your face, no mask in the world can hide you next time. Sleep well, and remember, some masks aren't costumes, they're armor, and when an entire town agrees to wear one, maybe you should too. Until next time, keep your face hidden.